and welcome to Crafting with Crystal. I am Crystal and these are some crafts. This is going to be our first crafting channel for our branch, so hopefully you'll come back and take a look at everything that we have going on. Our next project is going to be a resin bookmark, just so you have something to look forward to. I will be doing it 2 different ways, so make sure you tune in for that. Right now what I have is a beginner level, intermediate level, and hard level pieces of origami. These ones are done in cardstock. I do have some that are done in regular printing paper. They can be made in all shapes and sizes. All you need is a simple square. And to get that, we have all of our materials here. What I have instead of the cardstock paper is colored printing paper, because I did find that the cardstock was a little bit harder to manipulate. They do still work, they are interactive. Even the little one, tiny little birdie fly. Even our frog will jump, and our mini frogs. If you have kids that would like to get into something new, a new hobby, this one is really simple. It's pretty much mess free, so it's a good thing to get into. We have our materials here. Again, the colored printer paper, I have purple and I have green. A marker, you're not going to need to use this. I'm using this so that I can draw the lines where the folds are so you can follow along. And we have some scissors here. If you do not have scissors, you can use your good old saliva if you're doing it alone. Don't do it whenever you're with other people. Social distancing pandemic. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so we are going to start off with our dog. It is going to be an odd color. It's going to be green, but I couldn't find dog colored paper here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with a square. So we're going to make this piece of paper into a triangle. Okay. All right. So we're going to make this into a square. So what we did was we folded the corner down till it met at all sides. You should have this rectangular piece at the bottom, which I have marked to show you that it is not part of this. And we have our first fold. So that's where I have marked our first fold. What we're going to do is we're going to cut off that rectangular portion that we're not going to need. So now we have a square. Interesting. So you're gonna have a triangle like this now. You're gonna keep it folded, and we're gonna do dog's head. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fold down each one of these sides. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will show you. You do want the ears to hang down a little bit off the side, but these do not have to meet. You can make them into a corner if you'd like. It's not going to change the way it shows up at all. It's just going to have bigger ears. That's it. So I'm going to put mine back the way I had it. This is where we folded, and it's not going to be exact. It's going to be up to you, but this is where I folded. So what we're going to do next is we're going to fold up his little nose. And we're only going to fold one side up. This was both sides. You see how it's both sides of the triangle. On this front part, we're only going to do the front. So we're going to make sure that we separate the front and the back, and that we fold it up into a triangle. You're going to have something like this. We're going to do the same thing to the back. Okay, this is how we fold. Just folded it up. Same thing on the back side. We're going to do the same thing, however big you'd like to do it. Mine will come down. I want to make this triangle into a triangle for its nose. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down so that the tip of the triangle meets the end of the bottom of the head. So again, this is how it was, and this is how it should be. So now we have our puppy head. At this point, if you'd like to add eyes, you can add eyes however you like. Mine are gonna go underneath the ears because he just has really big ears. And I'm gonna color in the nose. So there is our dog's head. So this particular piece comes in 2 pieces. So we're gonna put this one aside and we're gonna do the same thing to this piece of paper. Make it into a square. And we're going to cut off the end. Okay, so we have another triangle here. It's a square, just like the other piece of paper was. Triangle. What we're going to do is we're going to open this triangle and we're going to give the dog a base to sit on. So if you notice on this pre-made one, he has a very, very small bottom. So he kind of tilts back whenever he's sitting. They all are going to tilt back a little bit. If you make it shorter, then he could probably sit on his front paws, but it's completely up to you. I'm just going to show you how to do it. So your fold is going to be facing away from you. We're going to place it face down on the table. We're going to bring one of the corners to the middle of our paper, like this. And yes, you can press down on it to make it a fold. What we're going to do with that now is we're going to close it so that it has a flat bottom here. To make it so that his tail comes out, you're just going to pull it a little bit. Once you've pulled it a little bit, you're going to refold that crease. So now he's gonna sit on his butt. This one I made a little bit too short to sit on his paws, but again, you can make them as big or as small as you'd like them. The orange one's tail was a little bit shorter, so that's why he was able to sit on both sides. So we're going to open it up and just place it on the top. And there we go. We have a cute little puppy. It looks a little weird without his full eyes there, but you get the idea. And that's how you make an origami puppy. The next thing is we don't waste anything here. So we want to make sure that we keep these and these from our previous projects because we can always use them later. For the moment, we're just going to stick them to the side and make sure that we have them for later. If anything, you can do the same thing with these and make just as small or as big of a puppy. So I'm going to do that really quick just to kind of show you that you're just doing the same thing but on a smaller scale. So you're going to make that triangle, which makes that square. You're going to fold the ears down. It's hard doing this backwards. Fold the ears down. We're going to split the bottom of the head to open. And we're going to make the nose. And this is why you want to keep all of your scraps because they can always be repurposed. I am a big fan of repurposing everything. And I will do just that on this trim. Again, pull it out, refold, place the head on top, and you have a mini one. So these can be reused for your kids that want to make smaller ones or make some for their friends. These can be little characters in a birthday invite or anything like that. So keep that in mind whenever you have scraps. The next one we're going to do is our frog. This one's going to be a little bit harder, so I'll be using the marker a little bit more. But we're going to make our base, which is that triangle and square, and cut off the end. Set that aside so I can use it later. And we have our square. So from here, we're going to forget about this particular fold for the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half. So right now we have this particular fold, and then we have a fold on the outside. We're going to utilize this fold now. Doing this a little bit fast and a little bit messy, but it's gonna get the job done, I promise. So we're gonna fold there, and then we're gonna fold on the opposite side. So let me show you. Fold down, like that, on one of our lines, open, and then fold down on the other line. So now we folded down on both lines. See? This is where we're at. So now we have these two triangles here, right? Well, we have more than two, but we're going to pay attention to only these two. What we're going to do with these is we're going to pinch them together slowly, but not firmly. And let me show you what I mean. So we're going to pinch them together so they kind of meet in the middle. And then we're going to push down on the top. Pinch and fold. One more time. Triangles, pinch, and fold. Okay? So now we have something like this. As you can see, it has an open bottom and looks like a little house on the back. We're going to concentrate right here on the front part, and we're going to make the frog's legs. So for this, we're just going to come to the corner right here of both of the front triangles and just fold up from that corner. The little frog's legs might not reach, in which case you can just pull it out a little and refold. Fold from the middle and just fold up. So since I folded this a little messily and I cut it a little messily, one of the little legs is going to be a little bit shorter than the other. It's not going to affect it in any way whatsoever. But keep that in mind whenever you're cutting and you're measuring and you're doing things. If you want them to look a little bit less wonky, then do it very carefully. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in each one of these corners now, our house corners, and we're going to fold them in until they can't be folded in anymore. What I mean by that is right here is as far as that's going to go. If I go any further, it's going to overlap or it's going to go under and it's not going to work as well. So we want it to be just underneath our little leg there. Same thing with this side. So we're going to bring it over and fold it just underneath the little leg. And again, mine's not going to be perfect because I did it messily, but it's not going to affect it in any way. You will have this little middle strip here. It happens with all the frogs. It's not a problem. We're going to now fold our frog. We're going to fold our frog about halfway down, like this. Directly underneath where we have all of our folds already. It's probably going to allow you to do more. It'll probably allow you to do less, but we want to make sure that at least this center triangle is above this line whenever we fold, because we want him to have a top. So now we have this on the back, this on the front, and we're just going to fold this one down to match the ends. So now we have a cute little box, but it has a frog on the top. So we're going to make some eyes for the frog. And if you set him up, he should look like this. Can't see with the light. And he will jump. So this one doesn't jump very far, as you can tell. It is, again, colored printer paper. But if you notice our cardstock paper, he's already jumping. And we'll go a little further. But he's going to be a little bit harder to store because he kind of... Yeah. So you'll have to make sure that whatever you're choosing to do, think about it ahead of time. Do you want him to jump further? Do you want him to jump shorter? Do you want him to barely jump so that you don't get in trouble if you're doing this in public places? Here's my smallest frog. And yes, he does jump. And this was the regular printer paper. It's exactly like this, except not colored. As you can see, the little ones go a little bit more far because they have less to contend with as far as gravity. So we're going to do our crane with cardstock paper. And I only do that because I have sweaty hands. And when I'm concentrating, they sweat even more. So this, if you have that same problem, will actually hold better. If you're working with printer paper, colored printer paper, anything that's really thin and you have the same problem I do, then it's going to be hard to work and it won't be as stiff, it won't be as steady, and it won't be as interactive because the wings and everything will get a little wet and they will not be able to move. Okay, so like we started the others, we're going to make a square. And cut out the end. Saving this for later. Am I tilting? I am tilting. Okay, so this is our first fold. And we are going to utilize this later, so just make sure that you know. From here, we're going to make another fold. So we're going to take this triangle and we're going to fold it in half. Okay. So now we have one big triangle, two small triangles, and we're going to fold it one last time. Okay. So we had one triangle, two, and another two. And we're going to open that up all the way. And yes, we are going to need all of these folds. And there are easier ways to learn this. If you come to the library, we have plenty of books on origami. This is just the way I learned, and it happened to be in a math class. So maybe that's why we did it the complicated way. So these are all your folds now. We have a fold here, we have a fold there, and then we have the triangle folds on either side. So for this next part, it's gonna get a little bit complicated, but stay with me. We're gonna do one side at a time. So each of these corners is gonna come down to meet here in the middle, one by one. We're gonna make a fold and then we're gonna reopen it. So we're going to fold on that line. If you follow this, it'll be a whole lot easier. So we have that first fold down to that first line. We're gonna do the same thing with this side. We're gonna fold down to our middle fold, which will be on that line. See? And that fold again so you can see on that line. So you have a fold here, you have a fold here. You're going to do that with every side. Okay? So I'm going to do this quickly, but show you along the way. Fold to the middle. And again, I don't fold quite as perfectly as I probably could, but it's not going to matter. Along the line. Along the line. And yes, we're going to have a bunch of folds by the end of this. Along the line. Forgive my faces while I'm working. Along the line. Right here. Last corner. Last one. Along the line. Okay, so I'm going to make these marks. It's going to confuse a lot of you, but hopefully it will clear some things up. So I am going to take a marker, which you do not need to do, and outline the most important folds that we're going to use. So I added these triangle lines, and you can now see there's kind of a star here in the middle. That's what we want. That means we have all of our folds that we're going to need for this particular swan. So it doesn't matter if you do it up, it doesn't matter if you do it side. Again, all of these folds have been done on each one of these sides. So it's going to be easy if you choose to do it this way, if you choose to do it this way. So just like our dog, actually our frog, forgive me, we're going to push these two sides in. So we're going to pinch them like this until they come in. And you're going to notice that you're developing a little bit of a diamond side here on either side. Once you do that, you're going to take your whole thing while you're pinching and bring it up. One more time. Square. We're going to pinch the two triangles, hold it with our forefingers and our thumb, take the rest of our fingers and fold up. This is where we pinched. And we want it to do that. We want it to make sort of this little box that we have going on here. One more time. Pinch and fold up. So the important markings here now, which are on the inside, but I want you to see on the outside. Do these rather light. These are going to be our next fold marks. So we have our little basket here. We want to now fold in these two triangles. And you may have to fiddle with this a little bit to make sure that this stays crisped whenever you fold it in, because sometimes it will just bowl and not want to go in. So we're here and we're just going to fold in like we're making a little boat or a hat. Okay, so from here, again, pinch and hold. So we want them to overlap. Okay, again, it was like this, and we're just folding it inwards, like this. From here, this is our important fold right here. We're going to bring it together. So again, from here, we're just going to push on that middle fold that we had, bring it together. This is going to make somewhat of a little diamond, and that's how you want to keep it for the moment. Again, from the beginning, just in case, pinch, fold up. Oh, now my lines are not folding anymore. Pinch, fold up, and then fold it. So from here you can choose any of these sides to fold in, but we're going to make our base for the body. So choosing this side, we're going to push it in. It'll go in. Sometimes you gotta mess with it a little bit. Mess with it a lot of bit. Okay, we're folding it in half. We're gonna close that part of the diamond. Same thing with the opposite side. We don't wanna go right next to it on either side. Remember, this is our fold. Folded it in. We don't want these that are touching it to be folded. The opposite side. Right? And do the same thing. We're going to poke it until it goes in and then fold. Okay, so now we have something like this. It's gonna be a little kite. So we want to get as close to this as possible, and we want to take just the top part of it. So this is what you have. Just take the top part and fold it over. Okay, top part is just folded up. So now you have this. We're gonna do the same thing with this side. Fold it up. So now we have two-dimensional diamond again that opens into a little W, and it's open on the middle on either side. I'm gonna pick a side, doesn't matter which side, and we're going to fold it over. Okay? Okay, so we're going to fold this over. Went from the right side to the left. When we turn it over, we're gonna do the same thing. Right side. Make sure you're only grabbing that front part right here. We don't wanna grab this whole thing. Fold it to the left. Fold it to the left. Okay. So now we should have something like this. And now that I'm thinking about it, we could probably make this a box, but we're not gonna do it. What we're gonna do now is we're going to take one of our heads and one of our tails and just pull it out a little bit. So you see how it's kind of spreading out like that? That's what we want it to do, but we want to fold it in place. So wherever you get it, if you want it this high, if you want it this high, if you want it this low, fold it into place so that it stays there. So I'm going to make a little bit less far out so I can kind of show you. We're going to pull it out just a little bit, and then we're going to press on that fold so that it stays. So now we have something like this. Yours could be further out. It could look like this. It could look like this. It just depends on what you want. So this higher part is going to be my head. I'm going to turn it over to work with my right hand, which is my dominant hand. And we're going to open the tip like this. See that? We're going to put my thumb in, and we're going to fold it down. It's going to crease right there in the middle. See? And we want to use that crease. So we're going to pinch that crease in and fold the head. Okay? My beak's a little messed up. So there you have your head, you have your tail, and now you have your wings, which you just now want to bring up. And there you have a swan. If you want it to move, especially if you have cardstock like this, you want it to bend a little bit more easy. So bend it for it, work with it, and then you can pull on its tail. And there you have a flying crane. So, again, these can be made in any size. This one's a little broken because, again, this is printer paper and I have sweaty hands. But you can use any of these to continue going on with this. Most origami you use will have a square as a base because it's more uniform. It's a good place to start. And again, we have books here at the library that you can use to your heart's delight and learn cranes, learn boxes, learn stars, all kinds of nifty things. So that was it for today. Now you know how to make a frog, a dog, and a crane. If there's anything else that you'd like to see in the future, just comment below, get with us at the library, let us know what you'd like to see, anything that you'd like to do. If you'd like more children's crafts, if you'd like more teenager crafts, if you'd like more adult crafts. I like to do all kinds of crafting, so I am willing to go above and beyond just to make sure that you know how to do what it is that you're trying to do. I love bringing art to the world, and I love bringing art to you guys. So make sure that you continue to come back to us, watch our channel, comment below, interact with us, come see us at the library, and come check out some books so that you can do some more by yourself.